we're just going to go ahead and get this started. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start this draft off. Are you ready, Clutch?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ready. All right. I'm going to go ahead and draft from the 9 spot. And the reason for this, if I had the choice to be able to pick, I still don't know where I want to be. You know, I'm trying a lot of different spots out. That way I can get a feel of where players are going.
So I decided to go with the 5th spot this time. I do know that I like drafting on the ends, especially in a 10-man league. Trying to mix it up here. 5th spot, definitely kind of tough. You don't have those 2 quick back-to-back picks like you're going to have. So it's definitely going to be able to mix things up for me.
If you're doing one of these mock drafts for the first time on the Sleeper app, I'll go ahead and go over these general settings that I usually just go through, where you do have the draft type, which is going to be a snake, the scoring, which is PPR, which is points per reception. So every time a receiver or running back catches a pass, that's pretty much a point. Compared to the standard where they won't count the receptions, they'll just count yardage, touchdowns, which is a little bit more basic. I started out on standard, but now we're doing PPR. Which one do you prefer, Clutch?
Definitely PPR, man. It's all I've known, you know, it's all I've liked to play. Why not? You know, I don't like to have PPR. I don't like where it gets a little too complicated. Straight, short, sweet, to the point.
And the most points possible.
And the most points possible. Give me my players, give me my team, and let's run it, you know? Let's go.
So we're going to do 10 teams. It's going to be a minute and a half. So we're going to be a little bit timed, but it'll be just enough time so we can pretty much explain why we're making each selection. We're going to go ahead and go to our roster settings, make sure. So this is going to be our roster size. It's going to be 19 total, which is pretty much 19 rounds. It consists of 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex, 1 kicker, and 1 defense. And that's going to be pretty much all your starters on that end. You're going to have 6 bench spots. And then you're going to also have 2 IDPs. And then you're going to have 2 IR spots. You're going to have 2 IR spots. And pretty much those IR spots would pretty much help you if you do have an injury in your roster. But we're not going to worry about that this time. So we have our selection. We have Drew's going to be drafting from the 5th spot. I'm going to be at the 9th spot, and we're going to go ahead and get this draft started. Good luck. All right. So coming off the board, Jonathan Taylor, Jefferson, McCaffrey, and Eckler come off the board right away.
Wow.
3 running backs, 1 receiver. Let's see what Clutch is going to make here, what decision he's going to make for the 5th overall pick.
Earliest I've seen Christian McCaffrey go in these mock drafts. Just saying, just kind of pointed it out there. Okay, 3rd. That's actually good for him. I'm a Christian McCaffrey fan. Okay. 5th overall pick. Definitely want to get. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I'm not gonna make this too long. This is short, sweet, simple, to the point. Give me Cooper Kupp, man. I don't think you can get greater value at the 5th spot right there.
Went ahead and got Cooper Kupp. Value pick, super huge after the great season he had last season. You know, that was a pretty good pick, and hopefully it does do you good at the very end. We have Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, and Najee Harris off the board. A lot of running backs and 2 receivers. I'm gonna definitely go ahead and look at what we have on the board. We do have a few good receivers. We do have Travis Kelce there. So in the 9th spot is gonna be a very interesting spot. I do want to go running back if there is value there, and there is. I do see a few good running backs there that I do like. Now I do see the receiving core as well and the tight end. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a this is pretty interesting. I'm looking at Jamar Chase. I'm also looking at Joe Mixon.
Really tough spot.
But I think I think I'm gonna take Nick Chubb on this one. I'm gonna do
Really?
something different. I'm gonna
Wow.
go with Nick Chubb. I see Jamar Chase and Mixon came off the board, which were the two players I was looking at, but that's no big deal here, mainly because I am gonna take Travis Kelce at number 2, which I was hoping was gonna happen, and it did. So I was a little bit patient. Sometimes it happens in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. You just kind of have to wait it out. I had plan A, plan B, and plan C after that. So we have Adams off the board, Diggs and Swift, and now we have Clutch at the 6th with the 6th pick in the second round.
So just want to point out really quick, by the time Alby made his second pick, which is a great pick, I thought you were going to get Kelce with your first pick, but that's a solid 1-1-2 right there. By the time Alby got to his second pick, there was already 9 running backs taken. Now I'm picking with my second pick, and there's already 10 running backs off the board. People, this running back position is going to get so thin so fast, especially in 12-man leagues. You got to be careful. Get your running backs early as you can. Speaking of that, I do see some good running backs here that I would love to have, but I definitely feel like there's greater value, greater talent elsewhere. And if you see me looking here to the left, it's where my draft board is. And I see Josh Allen right there, just kind of chilling. I definitely like that value. Time's running out here. Why not go ahead and lock up Josh Allen and Cooper Kupp there with my first 2 picks.
And you see Barkley, Kamara, Andrews, Debo Samuel, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, valuable running backs coming off the board now. And you know that running back's position is getting even more slim, and you still haven't picked one. So we'll see if you do pick one here.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me that I needed a running back, because obviously, how could I not know that I need a running back?
I do see your good friend Zeke Elliott there.
I do see my good friend Zeke Elliott. He has been disappointing these past few years, man, just from a fantasy standpoint.
Show the people your shirt.
Cowboys Nation, okay? Cowboys Nation, okay? But I'm a realistic Cowboys fan. Just saying, it's going to be tough for us to be good this year. Hopefully, we can be good and better this year.
That's what we always say.
A lot of faith in our defense. But easy number 2 pick here. Before I pick Leonard Fournette as my running back, just want to take a quick look. Oh, wow. I see Patrick Mahomes there. Oh, and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen as my 2 quarterbacks would definitely be something fun. But no, I'm going to make the wise pick here. I do have Leonard Fournette ranked pretty high on my ranking, so I'm going to go ahead and draft Fournette.
Lenny Fournette with another great valuable pick, and I did a really good job in making sure you understood the value of Leonard Fournette over the years, and I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one. So great pick right there. I was hoping that Leonard Fournette was gonna fall to me, but fortunately he didn't. Javonte Williams, Zeke's off the board. Keenan Allen, and that's the one I was gonna actually go for. But
wow, got you.
He went right in front of me, and hey, these things happen, people. When you're in a draft, you're looking to draft someone, he gets, you gotta have a plan B, plan C ready to go. And so like that's why you look around, just keep an eye on different names, on names that call your name and names that say, hey, stay away from me, so right here, I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick look around. I think I am gonna pick I think I'm gonna go quarterback here, and then maybe either move into a running back or a receiver. But right now, I'm gonna make the smart pick, and this is a pick that you should make.
How do you not? Yes, thank you.
With Patrick Mahomes, so you're pairing, or I'm gonna pair him with Travis Kelce, and I've had that combo before, and it's explosive. It's bread
and butter. It's the bread and butter
for sure. It's solidified. It's it's a done deal. So yes. I made the smart pick there. Afterward, Cam Akers off the board, Kyle Pitts. So I'm gonna look heavily on receivers and running backs at this spot. I have my tight end and first QB off the board. I'm not gonna worry about them for now. I really want to get my depth in running back or receiver. I do see a lot of great names. And great names. I mean, I'm looking at, you know what, running backs aren't that great right now, but I do see like T Higgins, do see like Terry McLaurin there, maybe DK. I'm gonna go ahead and make a safe pick here and just go T Higgins as my first receiver.
Not bad. That's not bad.
Um, Typically I wouldn't go with T Higgins as my number one, but I've seen the value that he brings to the squad, and I think he's a valuable piece there. I don't think that's gonna change, especially with Jamar Chase as the bomber. T Higgins just has that talent, and thanks, Clutch. I appreciate that.
You're
So we have
welcome.
George Kittle, AJ Brown, James Conner off the board. Let's see what Clutch got going on.
He's telling me thank you because just how he kind of changed my mind on Fournette, I did the same thing to him about T Higgins. Just throwing it out there. T Higgins, great pick. I had him last season on my bench. He did phenomenal there towards the end of this season. Um, as we look at right here, I do want another running back, but I just don't feel the running backs there right now. It's pretty tough. Like I said, they get really thin, really fast in that spot. I do like I would like a wide receiver, quarterback, or a tight end here. And I feel like just a tight end is another position where it's going to get really thin really quick. So I feel like the guy I want at tight end can fall to me in the back. If not, I do have a plan B. So that's smart for me to have on the fly. And so I'm going to go ahead and get a second quarterback here to lock up my QB2, Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. Why not?
And he went with the quarterback, the safe pick there, which I've been in a league before where I do draft two quarterbacks really early in the draft because it is a dual quarterback, and you want to have those spots solidified there as well. Not a bad pick. Let's see what you got going on for the fifth round, fifth pick.
So my tight end that I wanted to lock up, which went 2 picks later, was Darren Waller. But it's awesome because I have my plan B, and he's right there, Dalton Schultz, in a great spot to really have a breakout year for him in that offense. I know he has some great hands, and he is heavily used in that offense. Well, not heavily, but I feel like he does have an opportunity to do more than what he's been doing there. So that's my safe pick. I'm going to see what talent we have out there. I definitely need a wide receiver, though, to complement Cooper Kupp. And wow, it's getting a little. Right now I feel like I need to go wide receiver over a tight end, even though it goes against one of my habitual rules when drafting. You want to get a tight end early. But I don't know. I feel like at this point, I would rather have a wide receiver right now. I'm going to go with Jalen Waddle to pair up with Cooper Kupp.
Jalen Waddle, like from last season, he did surprise a lot of fantasy owners, and he was that unique receiver that was able to get down the field and get a lot of receptions from Tua, who hasn't been the greatest quarterback. Again,
I
I'm not
feel
the
Tyreek
great.
Hill being there opens up Jalen Waddle, so that's kind of where I kind of feel that, rather than the defense focusing on Jalen Waddle, they're going to have to focus on Tyreek Hill now, who's the
Yeah,
best wide
the
receiver.
the split share is gonna be different there now. So we'll see what really happens with that with those receptions. Let's see who's gonna be able to get them the most. And I mean, that's not a bad pick with Jalen Waddle. And then we have J.K. Dobbins, Chris Godwin, and Judy off the board. So I've already been looking at my receivers and running backs. I do want to get more depth there. And you know what? DK Metcalf's one that has been falling. He's been falling big time. I think a lot of people are underestimating him. I do see DJ Moore there, Amari Cooper. Not big fans of them, but I'm gonna go ahead and make that DK Metcalf as my wide receiver too. Hopefully, he doesn't disappoint this year like last season. I think him and Russell Wilson were just off. And I think it was just that type of year. So I went ahead and went with DK Metcalf. We do have Joe Burrow and Cortland Sutton off the board. Now I do want to look at my my running backs here. And I do see Travis Etienne there. I'm actually not gonna lie. I can see him as my running back too, but I do see Elijah Mitchell there as well, who, he hasn't disappointed in the past. You can see he rushed for 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, and then he did a little bit more work there. Um, looking back at my receivers, I mean, I could go DJ Moore. I'm not really want to risk it there. And then I go to my quarterbacks. I do see Lamar Jackson, who can make a difference on the field as well. So this is probably where I'm gonna make my decision, whether it's Travis Etienne or Lamar Jackson. Looking back at my roster, um, and I think I'm just gonna go with my gut pick with Travis Etienne on this one. Um, I might have a plan for later on. We'll see if it happens, but if it doesn't, we'll always have another plan on the side as well. So we have DJ Moore, Elijah Mitchell, and Amari Cooper off the board, and then so this is a 6th round, 6th pick. We'll see what Drew's got cooking on this one. Looks like he needs a tight end or maybe another quarterback on that end.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely need a tight end. This is where I do lock up my tight end. It's great how I was able to get a true wide receiver too in Jalen Waddle on the field also, and speaking fantasy wise. And that allowed me to get a safe tight end one as my plan, or from my plan B earlier. So I'm going to draft right here Dalton Schultz.
With Dalton Schultz, TJ Hawkinson goes right after him. Allen Robinson, Lamar Jackson, Marquise Brown, CEH, Mike Williams, Kyler Murray, and Brandon Cooks are all off the board. Pretty valuable names there still, and a lot of talent off the board still. These are still early rounds, so we're gonna go ahead and make a pause after our next 2 picks, and we're gonna just kind of evaluate. We're just gonna go ahead and evaluate our team at this point. So go ahead and with your 5th pick in the 7th round.
5th pick, 7th round. I want to go ahead and definitely lock up another wide receiver. Michael Thomas still on the board. We talked about him earlier in our last video. He's definitely one of Alby's bounce back players, so that's good. I have heard that he has been on his road to a healthy recovery. However, I do see a name here that's of kind of a reach for some people, but I feel right now this is such great value in a player called Adam Thielen, everybody. Kind of a bit of a reach, like I said, but he's a true wide receiver too in that offense. Before Jefferson got there, he was wide receiver 1 for that offense. He catches a lot of passes and is a great red zone target. Going with Adam Thielen here.
Yeah, another. I think that's a good pick there, and usually we do try to go for Adam Thielen. So I'll know your strategy from here on out. Thank you. But does it matter? I don't think it does. Mainly because again, when things happen, what happens? You adjust. You gotta adjust. That's the only way. Or you can cry over it. You can cry over it too. So we have Jalen Hurts off the board, Michael Thomas and Miles Sanders off the board. So yeah, here again, I'm looking for depth. I really love finding depth right now around these rounds. These are pretty important because this is pretty much, like this is gonna be the core of your team. So you really need to make sure that you're finding valuable players, and people who, like some of them are gonna be risky, some of them are gonna be solid, and you can do research to really dig deep and make these decisions. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a quarterback selection here, and I'm gonna go with the guy himself, Dak Prescott. Why not? He's, I'm surprised he's not the best quarterback in the league right now. Like I think he has a lot of potential. And
I'm biased.
Being a biased opinion, Dak Prescott has shown a lot of value through fantasy football. Where I got him in the 7th round, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Ridiculous value at that spot, people.
Yeah, so that I mean that's looking through the other players, it gives me a little bit more time to look around to see where I want to go, whether running back or receiver. Um, I do see AJ Dillon there, and he did not have such a terrible season as an RB2. 923 with 8 touchdowns, and they just lost their best receiver. So I think it's gonna be more on that end, which is why I'm gonna go ahead and make that pick of AJ Dillon. Why not? That this can be a pick where you can risk it a little bit if you want, and I think AJ Dillon's a perfect player because he's boomer bust on that end, and I think he has upside in the boom side. So we have Russell Wilson, D Hop, and Darnell Mooney off the board, and we'll see. Clutch is gonna make his last pick right here before we take a quick break. It's gonna be quick 3 minute evaluation of the team. Let's see what you got going here.
The running back position has definitely gotten away from me here at this point. That's how I'm kind of feeling. Um, I have some great picks, but I definitely need a second running back, and this is not the ideal position you want to be drafting in when you need when you need to have a running back right here. Um, it's tough, man. There's definitely greater value elsewhere, such as like the quarterback position, probably the wide receiver position. Um, and honestly, I might let me see here. I feel like by now I should probably just draft a really good quarterback so I could probably trade him later on for another running back. Later on in the season could probably be potential. Just kind of thinking outside the box here. So why not do it? Give me Tom Brady right here. I'll draft him as my third quarterback. That's a pretty solid QB3 to have.
And we're gonna go ahead and pause the draft here, just so we can go over the evaluation. So I'm just gonna go over my team and then giving my 2 cents on your draft here. Again, I'm just giving you my opinion.
What if like
Whether it values to you or not.
what if you pick like your one or two favorite picks from your first 9 rounds or something?
No, well, I'm just gonna go over it really quick,
Oh,
just to kind of point out like just things, just things that I'm going over in my head while I'm drafting.
that's
So as you can see here, I'm gonna just show you the roster. We do have Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott at our quarterback positions. I think that's pretty solid there. You shouldn't have too many problems there. Maybe around bye weeks is gonna be where I'm gonna need to find another quarterback, but that's gonna be for later rounds. So I need to really keep that in mind. The third quarterback. I do have 3 running backs on deck right now, where I do have them on my running back slots, and then one flex spot, where I have Nick Chubb, Travis Etienne, and AJ Dillon. Maybe not the greatest talent on my team, but I do have. I think there is hope there to find maybe a dark horse running back like Travis Etienne, who well, I don't think that's really. Yeah, I guess you could call it a dark horse because he didn't really do much last season. So I took a chance on him again. I do have a strategy to see if I can land someone else later in the draft, but I think that's okay for now. It's not the greatest. I'm already like around the 6 or 7 in my running back position. Receiving core, I think that's pretty solid right now. Again, I do need a little bit more depth, so that's what I'm gonna be looking for. So definitely receivers, running backs, a third quarterback right there. Tight end position, I don't even have to worry about anything else. That's solid right there. Gonna go ahead and go to Clutch's team really quick and just give you my 2 cents. Um, I think overall, I mean, you've made some great selections. There's a couple questionable ones, a couple early picks, I think. Um, you went ahead with the quarterbacks really quick in the early rounds, and I mean that's fine, and you're looking into drafting, but I think that's too early for three quarterbacks right off the bat. um from previous experiences, I mean that's I have done a strategy like this where some games it does help you, and some games it really it can bite you in the what. for not having more depth around your team than the quarterback position. But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and explain your team, what you're thinking, and then you can give me your 2 cents on my team.
Um, yeah, like Alby said, I really feel like I have made some great picks. Um, Maybe I did reach with the quarterbacks, but I feel like quarterback position, like might as well lock it up for me. Tend to have I tend to not really pay attention to the quarterbacks late until it's too late. So I'm really confident and I feel safe with those three quarterbacks that I have right now. Um, Definitely need to get another running back though, man. It's tough for the running backs there. I like I said, I mentioned it. I let it get away from me. So it's all about just potential talent um, picks right now, and I feel like I did really just solid to kind of spread it out as much as I could. But definitely need to add some more depth there in a few than more than one position on my team for sure, definitely. Quick 2 cents on your team. I mean, you have three running backs with your first 9 picks, so that's pretty solid. Um, in terms of depth there, you have two wide receivers, and your two quarterbacks are locked up, and so is your tight end. So I think that's great. You're on a perfect start to. It looks very nice and balanced. I feel like you probably reached a little bit for ETN, or not necessarily a reach, but I feel like in terms of your hope for him reaches a little bit. We really haven't seen what he can do, so it could potentially be a great pick for you, or it could be just a really bad pick for you. So I see that, and then AJ Dillon, you're having a lot of faith in that, so um, it's pretty solid. Just like to see what would be more in terms of a role for AJ Dillon going forward in that offense.
All right, and we're gonna go ahead and continue the draft here, and just kind of finishing your last point on AJ Dillon. I mean, Aaron Jones, he's the lead back. We all know that. But he has had some injury problems in the past, and so I think that's where AJ Dillon does get a little bit of value there. He is the bulkier back, but that's why I made my decision there and a little bit early. And again, Devontae Adams isn't there anymore, so Aaron Rodgers is gonna have to find someone to give the ball to. But this is gonna be the 9th round, 5th pick. Let's see what Clutch is got going on here.
Not gonna play around too much. Definitely, it's awful right now in terms of my running back depth. So definitely need to grab one here. I'm going to get Cordero Patterson. I'm going to try and hope for um, another player that I'm looking at here fall down to me on my next pick. Probably it won't, but we're just going to go with this Cordero Patterson pick here. There was a point in the season where no, actually, what is that stat? He actually is one of the first players to ever have over 500 rushing yards and over 500 receiving yards in a season. That's ridiculous here. So great talent there, Cordero Patterson, to lock up my second running back spot. He's going to be on the field, people. He is.
And so he's one of those players that has been getting drafted a little bit earlier than in earlier rounds than what he's projected. And I think there's a big reason for that. He proved it last season. Now it's going to be a question of since Matt Ryan isn't there anymore, they're going to be able to give him the ball, and so that's going to be something to look forward to in the preseason and well, a little bit in the preseason in the first couple of weeks. We have Hunter Renfro off the board, Dallas Goedert, and Derek Carr off the board. So here I'm looking for more depth. I do need another receiver here or running back, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and again depth. I do see some running backs that I do like, and you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and make a quick pick here.
Just do it. Just
With
get him.
a receiver
Get him.
because it's way too early to pick the other guy. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and make I'm gonna make the Elijah Moore selection with the New York Jets. If you're asking why, You can go
I
ahead and
am.
look at his stats. Look at the last maybe like 6, 7 games where he was. I mean, he was almost leading the league in yardage, touchdowns. And so that is something that I did look into. And it just really depends again how that offense runs. He's my third receiver, so he'll be good at my wide receiver 3 there. And now for my running backs, I'm gonna go ahead and make that pick in James Robinson. So I can pair him with Travis Etienne, and now I do have a duo there to where I keep an eye on both players and play the better hand. And some weeks you're gonna hit and pick the right player, or it might just be consistent where you're just running with one the entire way. So at least you have that option, or I have that option there, and I think that's a strategic play. So now we have Patrick Peterson off the board. Uh, I think the first IDP that I see, and then Tua and Gabe Davis are off the board. So let's see what Clutch is gonna select here.
Actually, the first IDP was T. McLean. I'm sorry, his name. I don't recognize that name, but he's a defensive lineman.
I do see
Uh,
that.
Second IDP to go off the board, Patrick Peterson, Tua, and then Gabriel Davis there. I want to go ahead and get another wide receiver. I might as well have a depth at one position if it's not going to be running back, which is the one that I wanted. So this player that I'm about to draft, he's in the new offense, the new system, which I feel could be a very good thing for him because he is with one of the greatest quarterbacks in the game right now. I'm going to go ahead and pick Juju Smith-Schuster. Well, hold on. Quick check, quick talent check. Overall, yes. Okay. Yeah, we're good with that. We're good with that. Juju Smith-Schuster. Wow.
And we have Deshaun Watson, C. Jones, M. Smith, Zach Ertz, Justin Fields, A. Smith, D. Jordan, and D. Rogers off the board. So a lot of IDPs coming off the board here these past couple picks. Makes you want to think, do you want to go IDP here, Clutch?
Wow. No, I think it's a little too early for IDPs. That I need to work on some depth here with my roster. I like running backs in this spot right here. Well, I would like to choose one in this spot right here. Trying to see what's out there. We have Tony Pollard, which is dark horse for me. So that is one of my that is a favorite pick for me right now. Still looking at a couple guys later on down the list here that I could possibly grab, which I would feel okay with just to add some depth. Tight ends, not really much going on there. Wide receivers, not really much going on there. Probably I could save somebody for later on. But right now I'm gonna go ahead and draft Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard off the board there. Devin Singletary, Trey Lance, Jay Holmes. Wow. Trevor Lawrence was someone I was gonna actually look into possibly picking, but not anymore. We'll change my mind there. Just kidding. That's a curveball. Maybe I would have. Maybe I wasn't even thinking that. But I do need a third quarterback here, so I'm gonna go ahead and look at those that position to see what I have. Not anything very interesting of value. Now here in the running back position, I do see some value here, and I think I'm gonna just keep stacking on to my running backs, mainly because it might be one of no, I mean I have a pretty solid stack of running backs, but I like to have those options whenever I need. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the Melvin Gordon pick, who he right now, as of right now, I believe I'm not sure if he's gonna be starting, but he was starting all last season. Until the very end. I think he got a little injured, and Javonte Williams did get a chance, and he did explode for the games he did start. But for the most part, he still has a lot of value there. So I'm gonna, I just added to my depth there. Rashad Bateman off the board, another DB. And I'm not even looking at IDPs yet. There's too many IDPs out there, good IDPs. So you can be a little bit patient on this. And now if you had 5 IDP spots, this would be a spot, or maybe even before, where you want to look into getting an IDP earlier, because there's more positions to more slots to fill. So you want to have as much value as possible. Um, so I did get Melvin Gordon there, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a wide receiver selection here who I think is underrated. Um, Very underrated. So I'm gonna take my chance with him before he is gone. And Alan Lazard, who should be the number one receiver, wide receiver one for the Green Bay Packers. With Aaron Rodgers there, Devontae Adams no longer there. Uh, I think that's another value pick, and I'm gonna have options in the receiving core as well. So we have Dawson Knox off the board, another valuable tight end. I'm not gonna lie, coming off pretty late. Jay Black off the board, and then Brandon Ayuk, who I said is actually gonna be a bounce back this year, is off the board there. And I did take a look at him, but wasn't interested at that point in time.
Okay, so right here, I feel like I'm gonna go with another running back who I feel like has a potential to kind of pop off or just do something a little bit more than what people think he's gonna do. Um, it's in his blood to make plays. He has an older brother in the league. His name is Dalvin Cook. So I'm gonna go ahead and draft his brother right here.
Yes.
Cook. Gonna draft him. There you go.
Wow.
Definitely a great depth player and a potential player to get some volume, see what he does with it. So I'm excited to see what the hype around James Cook is this year.
All right. So we are on the 13th round, fifth pick here with Clutch. Let's see what he's going to select. He just made the James Cook selection, a running back, rookie running back at Buffalo with Buffalo. So there is some potential there. We'll see if he can, outrun Devin Singletary. And yeah, we'll see what happens. What are you gonna be selecting this time?
I'm looking at a wide receiver here. I feel like this player is at great value. He's one of your players that you like to draft year in and year out. So sorry that I'm going to take him here from you. Wasn't sure if you were targeting him already, but I'm going to go with a solid pick. Love his quarterback. Had his quarterback on my team last year in Joe Burrow. Going with Tyler Boyd here to solidify my wide receiver, add more depth to my wide receiver spot.
Yeah, Tyler Boyd's the type of player to, he can give you 25 points out of nowhere, and
out of nowhere, really
literally with one catch. He just kind of, gets that yardage after the catch, and that's what really helps him get those points. And he scores touchdowns from here from time to time. So good pick there. I thought you were gonna go with Robert Woods, but I just realized Robert Woods was before. Or I was also thinking like a Christian Kirk type of player. I didn't think you were gonna go with Tyler Boyd, but good pick there. I think it's pretty solid. I think Joe Burrow's the guy. So we have Olave off the board, Claiborne and C. Watson, the rookie receiver from Green Bay, off the board. Now I think we have I have 6 picks left. I'm sorry, I have 6 picks left. So I need to be very wise here. And I am gonna look again for more depth at the running back receiver position, but I also want a quarterback. So here I'm gonna go ahead and make the Mac Jones pick. He wasn't the greatest fantasy football quarterback last season, but there was some value there, and I think he's gonna get going here. Maybe this season he can get a more passing yards. It's kind of hard there, but I was stuck between Mac Jones or Jameis, famous Jameis there. There's also Ryan Tannehill. Carson Wentz, those are all waiver wire pickups at this point. I do like Carson Wentz as well. I think he is talent. So he might be someone I pick later on in the draft if he's still available. Or maybe just, if week one of my players goes out, I can pick him up off the waiver wire. So there's options there. So Mike Gesicki's off the board. Michael Carter. I'm gonna still wait for the IDPs, but I am gonna look into my defense because some leagues defenses are more valuable than others. So you gotta also keep that in mind. Don't forget about that because if you lack on your defense, it can hurt you at the very end of the day. So and it's happened to me in a couple leagues before where the defenses are worth, like 30 points a game, 20 to 30 to 40. And if you score only 10 that week, that'll crush you, So I'm gonna go ahead and make the safe pick in the Tampa Bay Bucks. Stay consistent with that defense. I know that defense is not always gonna be there for me, but it has been there for me, and I'm gonna keep selecting them. I think they're gonna be that defense. So we have Russell Gage with the Tampa Bay with the new team off the board. Pat Fryermuth, who we did talk about earlier, and Hunter Henry off the board. So a couple tight ends and a receiver. Let's see what 14th round 6th pick is gonna be.
I feel like since I made that Tom Brady pick to solidify my third QB, I've just been literally building and just trying to add more depth to my running backs and my wide receivers. So I'm going to continue to do that here. I already have 4 running backs. I'm looking at the running backs I see here. Some interesting ones, some not. Maybe like Alexander Madison, who's a great backup to Dalvin Cook. We know that Dalvin Cook, he's probably going to play at least maybe 14 games this year, so I'm not sure about that. See some wide receivers here too. I went wide receiver last round with Tyler Boyd, so I'm going to go again wide receiver. I feel it. Another person I was talking about earlier on my list, on my radar, Michael Gallup, true wide receiver 2 for that offense. Hopefully he comes back healthy and is able to make an impact for that team. Great hands. Okay.
He's definitely gonna miss some time there, but there is value there in Michael Gallup, and he's gonna be the wide receiver 2 in Dallas. So good selection there. We have Christian Kirk, Ramon Stevenson, Sky Moore off the board, another linebacker in Ako, Claypool, D. Pierce, Isaiah Spiller, and Kadarius. I was gonna say Cardarius. Kadarius Toney.
Kadarius Toney. Which some footage on Kadarius Toney. He's a real shifty guy, and I feel like he probably got hurt just because of how shifty he actually really is. Some people might can see that can kind of move your way into a weird injury there. So that's what I kind of see from him. But
he's one of those guys, huh?
Great skills. Great, very, very shifty. Nothing too fancy here for my my 15th round pick. Gonna go with my first IDP player. Very high on my IDP list. He's actually number 3. I'm picking him over the first 2 on that list just because he's a linebacker. The first 2 are defensive linemen. So Micah Parsons, ladies and gentlemen.
Micah Parsons off the board. He's someone you actually do enjoy having. He is a linebacker, so I do see the strategy that you have there with Michael Parsons for him being your favorite player, and you still don't have a jersey of his, do you?
I have a Trayvon Diggs jersey, but not a Michael Parsons jersey.
So now I know what to get you for Kwanzaa. So we have the LA Rams. LA Rams off the board. Jay Williams. I'm sorry, Jamal Williams. Ronald Jones, your buddy Ronald Jones off the board. And now I have that selection coming up. So this is where I'm going to take a look at the IDPs. Those are pretty much the last couple spots. Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and make that quick selection in Bobby Wagner, someone I enjoy having, and he's with the new team with the LA Rams, and I think he's gonna continue doing him, on that defense. MVS off the board and R White off the board, which I believe is a rookie with Tampa, running back rookie, and so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and you know what? Right now, I'm gonna go ahead and select one more receiver that I actually had my eye on, and I think I just want to take a chance on. I think this could be a valuable piece that a lot of people miss, and I'm just kind of looking around, making sure I'm not missing any other names out there. But before I select my kicker, my second IDP, I am gonna go ahead and get one more receiver here. And this might be a surprise to a lot of people. It's definitely a surprise to me that I would go. But I'm gonna take a risk here and go with the guy that has recently gotten paid, and con- he's still getting paid by the Giants. Um, had a lot of value with the Lions, and even though he does get hurt all the time, that's been his weakness. That's his only weakness he's had. Um, Aside from not having the greatest quarterback either. If I think that he can be the receiver one there at with the Giants, and he got chosen after Cardavius Tony. So I just took a chance there with Kenny Galladay. And then so we have Alexander Madison, LA Chargers, and Justin Tucker off the board. We'll see what Clutch is gonna choose here. Last 3 picks for him, last 2 picks for me coming up.
These well, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 picks, including this one. These last three, you lock up your IDPs, kicker, defense, and then you really just take a chance on just something in your gut feeling that you feel might have an opportunity to get a lot of volume in terms of that player. I'm gonna go ahead and get my defense right here because I feel like on the turnaround, my second IDP player that I am targeting will fall to me pretty simple there. So here, not too fancy. Gonna get my defense here in the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, and a good pick there. Buffalo Bills have always been a pretty solid defense. So I tip my hat to you for that one. Wait to wait in there, be patient, and still be able to give value in a defense right there.
Yeah, I think I had them last year too in one of my leagues. They did pretty solid, never dropped them once. So that's how that's a reliable defense there, to have primarily. And there is my 17th pick. We're going to choose my IDP. And as I predicted, my second IDP player that I was targeting is another linebacker. Fell to me nice and easy there. Great linebacker. Among the top in the league in terms of tackle and production and impact. And he does get a lot of tackles, which I love, which is part of my strategy as thinking about my IDP. So going to go with Roquan Smith here.
Okay, Roquan Smith off the board, T. Mason, Matt Gay, Dallas Cowboys defense. Here I'm gonna go ahead and pick my last IDP, and that's gonna be in Darius Leonard, another beautiful linebacker that was not picked up at all. And I think that's a problem with these auto picks. Sometimes they're just kind of picking at random with these IDPs. So this isn't the most accurate, but it still gives you a sense of being able to draft, just in general, seeing the different options that you have. And not every draft is the same again. So, you just got to adjust and just be prepared to make another selection if your selection gets, chosen. So, so with the last pick, I'm just going to go ahead and get my kicker, and that's going to be Nick Folk. Nick Folk was actually the best kicker in the league last season, and I don't think that was a mistake. I think he just had one of those great seasons, and I'm gonna bet that he has another solid season like he did last year. Kicker position isn't the most important, but it's always good to have a solid kicker, and if he produces 15 points for you, or even 12 points. Like that's pretty solid coming from a kicker. I know this season we are going to bump up those numbers a little bit so they can be a little bit more competitive. And you know, you got to be a little bit more careful on your kicker. So that's something I'm going to implement. And it's something that I think leagues should implement if they're going to be running a kicker. Young
Hey,
Waku is off the board. Young Hoku. And then we have T Daly off the board and C Leggett, which, you know, these are just IDPs coming off the board. And we'll see what Clutch's last pick is going to be.
last two picks. So really quick here. Since I'm gonna pick before you, I can tell you. I guess. Well, I'm gonna kicker pick here. You can stream these guys week in, week out. Nothing too fancy. You're gonna go with the top rated kicker left on the board in Robbie Gold. Am I missing something here with a guy by the name of Chris Carson? Like, am I missing something here? What is going on? Like, is he just not going to play the season, or is people just really down on him that bad, or he's not even, he's 234 ADP? Who is it? Rashad Penny? Do people think Rashad Penny is going to take up the or more of the workload in that offense? What am I missing here, man? What are your thoughts? Because I feel like right here with the last pick, why not pick a guy like Chris Carson to add more depth?
I think that backfield, there's still a lot of questions out there. There's been inconsistencies in the running back game over there, and it's solely through injuries. So you know it's another risk you're gonna have to take, or you're gonna just have to wait for a few seasons in to really see who's the running back there.
Gotcha.
Now if you have a roster spot to be able to choose choose a player like that, then you know by all means you are able to, you know, go ahead and make that risky pick. But I don't think it's that much of a risk. I mean, it is a risky pick, but I mean, you're picking them up in the 19th round, the last option. Why not just
Exactly.
go for something like that? You know, who has shown value.
Right. Exactly. Which is why I'm gonna pick him to finish with five running backs. You know, definitely didn't get some high end running backs, but definitely have a lot of depth, and hopefully some value comes up elsewhere in my lineup where I could probably, possibly, potentially make a trade somewhere during the season.
And for my last pick, I thought Nick Folk was gonna be my last pick. Usually, my last pick is my kicker. I'm not too stressed about the kicker usually, but if I am gonna bump up those numbers for the kicker, do need to be a little bit more alert to picking one and a good one as well. You know, someone who has produced in the past, who's accurate. That's what you want to look for, accuracy. Now for this last pick, I'm gonna go ahead and look at my running backs and quarterbacks, and I think I'm gonna go quarterback here. I think I have good depth in my running back position. I can always shoot for one here, but I don't see a lot of I don't see something that really calls my name. But I do see
Just
this
draft
one
Carson
pick,
Wentz with your Carson Wentz fanboy
and
having butt.
so it's either between famous Jameis or Carson Wentz. I had Carson Wentz last season,
Just take
and
him.
people are putting him in a spot where, like, you got to give some respect to the guy. You know, obviously he's been injured, but he's put the team on his back. Sure, he didn't make the playoffs last season, but fantasy wise, you didn't even play him the last game of the season. So what difference does it make? You know, so you got to really keep that in mind and in perspective. And I'm telling you, there was times where, you know, I needed some points and he came up with those points, whether, you know, it was 2 touchdowns and 250 passing yards. It's something there to show for if you're really in need of a backup quarterback. So that is our draft, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Very, very fun draft. What do you think, Clutch?
Yeah, man. Like you had said earlier, I think it's, you know, the more we do these, I feel like the more better we get at them, the more comfortable they come out, the more smoother the whole process is. So just another fun one, man. It's just, you know, just like we would do, you know, back in the day, off camera, do a mock draft, talk about it, think about it, give our thoughts, our opinions. But I'm just glad There's people watching. If there are people watching, thank you so much. Really means a lot. Appreciate it. We like to give these videos and content out just to share our perspective and mindset when we're going through these mock drafts.
This mock draft was pretty good overall. I give myself, and you know what, I'm just grading myself on this, but I'm giving myself a B plus. I don't think it was a perfect draft for me. There are some places I would definitely like to improve upon, and that's why we do these mock drafts, you know, and for myself, but it's also for people who you know are looking for some tips, looking for you know, a different type of strategy when looking into these mock drafts, and just kind of giving our perspectives here, you know, that can definitely help you out in the long run. But yeah, overall I gave myself a B plus. What about you? What grade do you give yourself?
Um, I'm definitely gonna. I'm not gonna lie. I have definitely drafted better. I feel like I have some good, solid players spread out in my lineup, but probably would have some issues going into the season, definitely with those running backs. So I would have to be relying on my other players to make up those points. So not definitely a great draft from my standards. I would probably give myself like a flat B, maybe like a C plus. Um, so yeah, nothing too fancy here. When I feel like I have a really good draft, then I'll be able to say, yeah, man, you know, I have this, and that, A minus, A, B plus, things like that. But I don't feel confident in this lineup too much. But give it a solid B.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good analysis there. The way I kind of grade is, how do I feel going, you know, going in with this team here? How do I feel starting the season? And that's, you know, like, it's not terrible because, you know, I do have some talent on there. I do have some depth that I did want to get. And now it's just really what's going to happen week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. You know, these are the important weeks to kind of get yourself started. And if you feel like you need to make changes right away, you know, you start trying to make changes, whether it's trades or whether it's drop and picking up. You know, you got to go with your gut feeling from time to time. Again, do your research, look at uh different rankings around, just to see what people are saying about these guys. And you know, that's why we're gonna be dropping our rankings here in a week or so. And so, you know, you'll get some more uh some more dialogue there. But yeah, I thought this was a really awesome and organic draft. Very good job on both ends. But yeah, this we're trying to drop more content. We will be dropping more content. So please subscribe to AlbyKlutch Fantasy Football on YouTube, Facebook, and like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Again, we're starting out here, but I think it's a good start so far, and excited to be making more content for you guys. So if you guys think we should improve on somewhere, or maybe give us some questions, we can definitely answer those. Just leave them in the comments. Leave a comment there for us. We'll always make sure to respond to those to the best of our ability. In all honesty, unbiased opinions and biased opinions maybe sometimes, but you know, it's all for fun. So again, thank you guys. And you have any last words, Clutch?
Nah, man, just thanks for hanging out, guys. Really appreciate it. Definitely, this whole thing does not work without you, the viewer. So definitely want to give a huge shout out to you. Yeah, like Alby said, man, let us know in the comments, questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to know about what we go through, what we think. Even if you want to criticize and let us know that, hey, you made a bad pick right there, let us know. We are open to constructive criticism and support, things like that. But not good vibes just here on the channel, man. AlbyKlutch Fantasy Football League. Can't wait for this season, man, and I cannot wait for the next video.
All right. You guys have a good one. Peace.